y'all? Should that be my greeting? What's up, y'all? See, I thought I had it all together. Okay, I just need to scoot it back a little bit. Welcome to Behind the Music. It sounded better in my head, right? We back with another Behind the Music segment. I know, I only did like 4, and then I just stopped doing it completely because I was like, what's the point? But the point is that you guys can see my process, right? I'm really excited about this one because of the vocals specifically and the things that I did with the vocals. However, here we are. Let's jump right into it. This is the behind the music for my song Isolate that I just put out in March after taking a very, very long hiatus of creating music. I decided to let this be the song. My debut of coming back, diving back into the music scene. I'm still paddling in the water a little bit, you know. But I thought this was a good reintroduction song. I had to look in my notebook to see when I actually wrote this song. January 5th, 2023. So I wrote this song over a year ago. Completely over a year ago. And it's funny because when I don't know how much I'm going to be editing. Because remember, I think I have more liberty to edit. Do I not? Really sure? We don't know. Behind the music is tricky. Let me try to keep my thoughts in order. Yeah, January 5th, 2023, I wrote this song. And as I was creating the song, like actually putting everything into Logic, I was like, wow, these lyrics, like, praise God, I'm not in the same space. Let's just say space that I was in when I was making this song. Because listening to the lyrics, you know, it sounds very much so like Spirit of Rejection. Praise God for deliverance. But I'm so excited to dive into this. So here we are. Here's the overview. All of the instruments are off, all of the beat, everything, all of that stuff is off. And I just have the vocals highlighted right now because I wanted to start there because they are so, especially verse 2, so dynamic. I love, what's the word? Release your brain work. I love things that are dynamic, especially in music. I love musicality. I love variation. If you don't know that by now, then I guess you just ain't getting it. Let's go. Nappy boy, hey, and pretty boy, okay? If you just don't know that about me and the way I create music, then you just, you know, I guess you're just not gonna get that point. Variation is everything to me. So there's really not much in the first verse, right? I'm gonna highlight the verse so we can actually dive into the verse and then look at some of the effects and plugins and stuff that I put on my vocals to give it that 80s feel, because that was the point of the song. The point is not to be strictly 80s. That's part of the, you know, that's the feel that I wanted to give for the song. That wasn't the message point. Anyway, I wanted it to sound not too polished because, you know, in the 80s, they was just vibing, they was just jamming. The music was good. They really wasn't worried about audio. I mean, they were worried about audio quality, but it wasn't as advanced as it is now. And so that's the feel that I wanted to go for. Still clear, but still giving that. Is it mixed all the way? I don't know how to describe that, but yeah. Hold on.
Alone, no company. My phone can't comfort me. A drug is what this could be. So much secrecy, it ain't healthy, no.
I'm gonna stop it there because the echo is the biggest thing. Like, I was thinking about, I've like, my thoughts. Sometimes my brain works faster than my mouth, which is why I gotta slow down. I was pulling inspiration from Prince. I know she not 80s, but she has mastered that execution in her music. Taylor Swift, that what's that song? It's me, hi, I'm the problem, it's me. That whole song sounds old, and I know that was the point of it, but like, it just sounds like, you know, she pulls from different things. I was pulling inspiration from different places, what I'm trying to say, to really try to execute this song. Execute, you know, the feel that I wanted to get for this song. And the echo, for sure. They loved using, let me open it up. So this is all I have. Ooh, Jesus. Let me pull this up. So on verse, we have compression, channel EQ. I hope y'all don't be judging me because I don't know how to talk all the time. I know how to speak. I know how to cut it on and off. Okay? But sometimes, whoo, my mouth, it just don't go. Vocal transformation, vocal transformation. I believe, which one is it? Honey, which one is it? Yeah, because I don't even think it's on the right one. Yeah, because I'm sitting here like, what? I can't find it. That wasn't even the right channel, y'all. Okay, so we got filter, compression. Let me see. That's more compression track on. Yeah, no, I'm not looking for that one. Oh, God help me right now. I feel like I should have practiced before I cut my camera on, because you know I don't like to make this too long. Delay, Jesus. And then I also don't have my glasses on too, y'all. And I really should probably put them on because it's giving I can't see. So I put a delay on here. I don't have to go all the way back.
My satisfied.
Actually, yeah, let me go back a little bit.
Alone, no company. My phone can't comfort me. A drug.
I didn't really change the delay time, because once I cut it on, it was perfect for the tempo that I was already on. Maybe I should have started with that. Isolate in the key of C. Basic time signature. Once I cut on the delay, it was perfect for what it was for, and I guess it probably just automatically looked at the tempo and the time and just adjusted. But yeah, perfect. I don't really have to touch that, but yeah, that's what I cut on for this. All of this that you see over here is what goes into the verse. You see one is mixed and one is not. Sometimes I just like to mix it to condense all of my work so everything doesn't look choppy. Like, for example, this right here, and then the one that's mixed together. But I think I just did that for that one. I don't know. Sometimes when I'm working, it don't make sense. Because you see, I didn't do it for anything else. Did not do it for anything else. However, right. So we got this. Let's go to the transition. I always use arrows for my transition. The arrow helps me focus on it moving forward. Like, okay, we're finna drive it to the hook or the chorus or whatever people like to call it, because either or, it's you're driving it to the main point of the song, which is the catchiest part, which is the hook. I call it the hook. So yeah, I use arrows for transition.
Oh, am I satisfied? Look into my eyes. Is there any light? Or is it dead inside? Fighting for my life. Can you just take me for a ride? Oh, I don't know. All I seem to do is isolate.
And then it goes to the hook. So The harmonies I focused, shaking the desk, I focused the most on during this song because there was so much musicality back then. Main vocals were important, but when the harmonies came in, there's a lot of songs that I can think about and I can name that are good examples for this, but I'm not going to go into it because I'm not trying to be here too long. Back during that time period, the 80s, just such musicality. When I say musicality, I'm talking about like back then we was dealing with some actual authentic musicians. We wasn't dealing with just play 5 keys and you're good. Like, I don't know how much of this I'm going to be able to edit. Crazy work. Anyway, yeah, we weren't dealing with that though. We weren't dealing with people who didn't know what they were doing. They knew what they were doing back then, and they knew how to layer the harmonies, stack the harmonies. They knew how to do all of that. Even if it was a simple key, like the key of C, they knew how to be versatile with every musical decision that they were making. I always say verse 1 is for the setup. So verse 1 can sound so simple. It could really just be the main vocal. And then you got the transition, and then maybe you start bringing some harmonies in like I just did here. Starting here when the transition came in. That's when I started introducing different elements. I'm so big on elements. I'm so big on when the elements come into the song. If it's not executed right, it can make or break the song. You can't come into a song incredibly strong. You could, it depends on the song. It's all about execution though. You gotta ease in, let the listener get intrigued a little bit, and then start building on that. I always feel like a song should go like this. And I know that makes sense. So, going back to the harmonies, the melody always has the main melody. The what? The main vocal always has the main melody is what I was trying to say.
There any light, or is it dead inside? Fighting for my life. Can you just take me for a ride? Oh, I don't know. All I seem to do is
right. And so now that leaves room for the hook to come in. Very basic. It's not. I think the hook in this song is the thing that remains the most unchanged, because it allows everything around it to do a lot more. That makes sense. I don't know. It just repeats itself. If you've heard it. If not, I'll leave the link and you can go listen to that.
Isolate, 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 isolate. Isolate, all I know how to do is isolate, isolate, whoa, isolate, isolate, whoa, isolate, isolate.
Now. Okay, because I gotta put on the instruments. I love it. Notice I'm saying isolate. I'm not saying isolate. I learned that in college, in my tenure getting my music degree. It's just always easier to go into what I think it's just vowel sounds or something, especially with I, to put an H in front of it, so it's a softer approach and not so you know. So yeah.
Isolate, all I know how to do is isolate, isolate, whoa, isolate, isolate, whoa, isolate, isolate.
Okay, so here we go, verse 2.
Going home, I feel the love, but coming back, it feels like a heart attack. A drug is what I really need.
Come on.
So much secrecy, it ain't healthy, no. I just glamorize, but look into my eyes.
Okay, that was the transition. Sorry, I was just supposed to do the verse. Variation. If you don't learn anything from this video from me, music producer Relly, sound engineer Relly, sitting here just showing y'all this Relly. If y'all don't learn anything else from this video, if you are trying to apply stuff to your music, variation is always going to win, y'all. It cannot sound the same. You got verse 1, like I said, ease them in. Then you got your transition. Start layering. Start building in different stuff, harmonies, different stuff. Then you got your hook. That should be the first intro to, well, you know, this is gonna be a good song. Then you got verse 2. Verse 2 should never sound like verse 1. If verse 2 still sounds like verse 1, you're not doing something right. You always need to have variation. Okay? Let's unpack verse 2, because I'm not trying to be here all day. Whew. Let me cut off. Let me just mute the verse just so you can hear everything that's happening around the verse. The verse, basic again, holding down the main melody, holding down just the main theme of the song. Everything else around it, beautiful.
Like a heart attack, the truth is what I really need. I just glamorize, but look into my eyes.
And then that's the transition. So that no, right? Yeah. And don't get me wrong, the verse is always going to be foundational. Set the solid foundation so that you can build on the foundation, right? But so I did a mixture of this gospel ensemble plugin to add to my vocals, because I wasn't going to be sitting here all day continuously laying sorry y'all, I had to burp. I wasn't going to be sitting here all day continuously layering vocals, continuously adding reverb, echo, all of this stuff to get the choral feel that I was looking for, when I could just click on right here, like it says, gospel ensemble, and then I labeled it and then it's the other one, no, because when I go and say no, when I could just layer that in with my vocals that I had and just make it, you know, edit the plugin to make it sound the way I need it to sound, and then also my vocals to make it sound the way I need it to sound. So let me mute these. By itself, it don't sound that impressive, right?
At home, I feel the love, but coming back.
And then right here.
Glamour, secrecy, it ain't healthy, no. I just glamorize.
But that was a good thing to put under my vocals to really boost it. Sometimes, and this is not to take away from quality, let me just say it like this. Sometimes when you are trying to be efficient in working and you're trying to hurry up, not hurry up, because you can take all the time you need. I'm talking about me. Sometimes when I feel like this is not a part that I really need to be spending hours on, stuff like this helps. Like having this, I don't even know if I'm using the right terminology. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine, because if you do music, you know what I'm talking about. These two plugins, it helps with efficiency. It helps add that boost that you need under something. If I were to take these out, you heard what it sounds like with it. So let's do the no.
Ain't healthy, no. I just glamorize.
Right. If I mute that and go back and do the same part.
Ain't healthy, no. I just glamorize.
You hear the difference. Not horrible, but you hear the difference. Clearly hear the difference. Again.
Oh, I just glamorize.
It adds that boost. It added what I needed in that moment. Like, no, it added to the dynamic level too. Like the sound, it just added to it. So we're gonna unmute that. Let's go back. Let's go to the transition now.
Oh, I just glamorize, but look into my eyes. Is there any light, or am I hurt inside? I'm fighting for my mind. I beg God for more time. passionate melodies combined. Oh, I'm on a line that just isolate, 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 isolate. Isolate, I know how to do is isolate, isolate, whoa, isolate, isolate, whoa, isolate, isolate, whoa, isolate, isolate, isolate.
Yeah, okay. Oh, system overload, right? Because I'm doing too much. Okay. So, sometimes the plugins are too powerful for Logic, and Logic just be like, wait a second. Okay, so going back to the hook again, variation. I did more than I did for the first hook. So the first round of the hook, I just did my vocals, just regular ad-libs. Second hook, I added on and I added harmonies. So
isolate, I know how to do is isolate, isolate, whoa, isolate, isolate, whoa, isolate, isolate, whoa, isolate, 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 yep, isolate, isolate, isolate.
And then I changed the tonal quality of the song.
Isolate, isolate,
so I'm gonna just pause right there quickly. I changed the tonal direction of the song towards the end of the, so we had the second round of the hook, the first hook. At this point, we're going to the third hook, the third round of the hook. Variation. Again, I'm changing things. I changed the tonal direction of the song and added some more variation, like the deep vocal. So wait, let's go here.
Isolate, 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 isolate.
And that's where this is over here, the ISOs. I just changed the panning direction of them. I did some binaural panning on the first one and the third one. And I really feel like I could have executed that better. But at that point, I think I was just tired, and I was like, it's gonna sound the way it's gonna sound. It's gonna sound decent. But when I go back and listen to it now, I'll be like, dang, I really could have like spent some more time on the panning, like being more intentional about like specifically where I wanted the pan to go with these, but it doesn't matter. Like the song is out, so it's fine.
Isolate, 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 isolate.
Okay, let me stop playing. So that's what that is. I'm gonna cut the instruments back on because I feel we've been here a long time. 23 minutes recording. Come on, really. That's what happens when you don't have your thoughts in order. Let's start here. All the instruments up here. We have beat up here. Part of the beat. We have bass, synth, more beat. Just to, like I said, add that foundational aspect. I'm really big on layering. So if something doesn't sound punchy enough, if something doesn't sound strong enough, I just have to add more. Synth, heavy on synth because that's the 80s. Like, what do you mean? I got some acoustic drums here to add to the beat just to give it that, just more of an 80s feel. It's like more, it's like pop, modern pop / 80s is what I was really, you know, really what I was going for. And then we got a bass down here. We got some harp, some bells, like especially towards the end. This is where all the strings and all of that stuff comes in, right? So we're just gonna play some of it with this stuff.
Alone, no company, my phone
I love that drum.
can't comfort me.
Girl,
A drug
I be doing it.
is what this could be. So much secrecy, healthy? No. Am I satisfied? Look into my eyes. Is there any light? Or is it dead inside? Fighting for my life. Can you just take me for a ride? Oh, I don't know. All I seem to do is isolate, 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 isolate.
I kept the melody. Pause real quick. I kept them because I don't know. Like once I get back and fix this audio and stuff, I don't know how much you can hear me. That's what I was talking about. I kept the melody super simple. Sometimes simplicity is key to a song. If you start trying to do too much, I love variation. You have to know when to put it in. You can't have a million different melodies doing too much unless it's executed right. So yeah, when you hear that dun-dun-dun, 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 that was just me over here just playing them 4 notes or them 3 notes or whatever. Keeping it simple, not trying to do too much. Looking at my battery too. Okay, here we go. Variation. Sometimes you have to have key things to, let me go to that synth, this right here. Sometimes you have to have key things to say, hey, we finna go to the next part. This is what this is. More variation, but also I'm letting you know we're finna go to verse 2. Right. Going back. The hook is over. We're going to the verse 2.
Going home. I feel the love. We're coming back. It feels like a heart attack. A drug is what I really need. So much secrecy. It ain't healthy, no. I just glamorize.
Baby! Get me flowing.
Is there any light? My heart inside.
Yo, let me stop. Sorry.
I beg God for more time. Depression and melodies combined. Oh, I'm unaligned. I just isolate, 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 isolate.
Notice that things calmed back down after I did all of that in verse 2. Sometimes you have to reel it back in. You can't just keep it up here all the time. Like I said, it's like this. It's gradually going up. We could be up here. Some point, verse 2, we gotta reel it back in. It's just something. It's hard for me to articulate and explain. I can only just show you how to do it, you know? But yeah, I know y'all hear it though.
And melodies combined. Oh, I'm unaligned. I just isolate.
And it comes back down.
Isolate, 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 isolate. I know how to do is isolate, isolate, whoa, isolate, isolate, whoa, isolate, isolate, whoa, isolate, isolate, isolate,
I'm gonna go back because I think y'all missed it. Okay, I think my camera's about to go off, so I'm gonna pause it right there before we get to the second half, and I'm gonna stop these at the same time. So